roast.
Oh, yeah?
And anyway, hey guys, Matthew here, and I have a guest. What would you like to be called, my guest? And my friend.
You can just call me Maz.
Okay, Maz. Anyway, we're recording, and I figured I'd let you know. Oh, this is gonna be the beginning of, well, you as my guest. Anyway, as you can see, we're about to go into the gym. So, would you like to first see what Pokemon I have with me?
Sure.
Okay, I'll show you the Pokemon I've caught so far. Okay?
Okay.
I figured this can show off some stuff. Because you've seen my videos on this, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen a handful.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As you can see, well, there's this Eevee, the vintage Eevee.
Is that a shiny or is it just normal looking?
That's normal, but it's actually vintage.
Oh, okay.
You remember how Unknown described to you for, well, what's gonna happen in my world for the backstory? Vintage, like, normal type Igglybuff and without the fairy typing?
Right, right.
Think of it like this.
Okay then.
Vintage. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Like this right here. Igglybuff should have the fairy type, right?
Right?
It doesn't, does it?
Nope.
Then it's a new Totodile.
You
There's Bidoof.
everyone's favorite.
The god of Pokemon that can beat Arceus. Mareep. Then Inkay. Then we have Zigzagoon, Abra, which shows off those guys. But let's check out these guys. Elekid.
Shouldn't he be more like Pyro Kid?
Oh dear god. You actually might give me an idea to nickname him something, but technically this is an Elekid, but something different.
Yeah, it's a fire type.
Not just that, it's actually a Xenoverse Elekid.
Oh, okay.
You do know what Xenoverse is, right?
Refresh my memory.
Well, okay. I don't think I've ever told you what it is, since you're more new to that area. Since you're actually from the world Unknown is, you're the same multiverse traveler he is, but he hasn't really told you. And yes, I know I'm breaking the fourth wall, but, well, he's allowed us to in this case. In these cases, well, a Xenoverse Mon is an alien in a case.
Kind of like an Ultra Beast.
Yes, just like that. It's a for taking a step back some. Makes sense? Like a regional variant, but of another dimension. Without needing a Ultra Ball, but they do need a specific ball that won't even work on Ultra Beasts.
So they're like familiar aliens then.
Yes, in this case, they're familiar aliens. They're like regional. They're like aliens that are based on Pokemon, but they are. You see what I'm saying? It's hard to explain than you think. It's an Elekid, but it's like from a different planet.
It's a dimensional variant.
Pretty much. Like right here, Sparkowl, a new Pokemon. But for
Cool.
example, this one, Xenolith, can evolve to Electabuzz, but actually has a new evolution.
Oh, yeah?
And then there's Chulong.
Cute.
Yep, it was my starter in this game.
Nice.
Even though my starter will always be my buddy's any game, or comics it now as he's fully evolved. But you know what's gonna happen in the past. There's Kakuna, which I'm gonna get to evolve, and Neiman.
Nice.
And this guy.
I see.
You are creeped out by him, aren't you?
Looks like a more demented version of Mimikyu.
It's a bug sound type, but there's a lot of interesting stuff about him. Take it as if it had 18 different forms. Well, 17 different. Actually, no, 18 since there's now 19 types in this game compared to how many types are going to be in our world. Guys, we're
So it's
not
like
going by this sound type, we're going by the Azurite sound type.
so it's like the Alcremie of this game.
In a way, yes, but it's like, you notice how it had a costume?
Yes?
Take, for example, a costume for every type. And they're pretty much very famous Pokemon of that type.
Huh.
Like, what would you say is a very famous water type?
Blastoids.
Correct. And water? Not water, fire, I meant.
Charizard.
Yep, and grass.
And that's going to have to be Ivysaur.
Close. You're one step below.
Ah, Bulbasaur. No, wait. That's one step. No, never
That's
mind.
one step above.
Okay. There's Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, and Venusaur?
Yep. And you can actually catch mons here.
Cool.
It's a gym that you can catch mons in. Probably using Elekid isn't the smartest idea. Okay, so in that case, gotta swap mons around. This way I can catch a mon.
I think Game Freak for XP share.
Oh dear god, so do I. I think for this game can let you use the EXP all, or it can let you go classic where you don't use an EXP all. Nice choice for those that don't want to use it, true?
True. As far as finding Pokemon is concerned, it's the opposite of Jurassic Park. You actually want to go in the tall grass.
Oh dear god, yeah. Which is nice, isn't it?
Yep.
And thing is, in my world, think what Jurassic Park would be.
Hmm.
Yeah, think about it. You have your counterpart of the Pokemon world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, well, still called Maz, but think of what it would be like for yours.
Hmm.
She would have probably seen this.
So is there any Pokemon you want to catch in this game you haven't caught already?
Actually, there are a few, because I do have a certain type set I always get. Because, okay, you know how Unknown has a certain type setup he always has for his party?
Yeah.
I sort of do the same. Because it's like, okay, hear me out. I do water, flying, I do fire, I do electric. Yeah, so that fills this. This is the fire. I do grass, and I do, well, a normal type if I get a normal type. But that's usually the flying types. I don't need a normal type, I've learned. But it's like, for example, I have water. I have the electric flying type. I have the fire type. So I just need a new grass type of this area, or a Xenoverse grass type. And well, it's pretty much done. But from what I understand, this will evolve into a fire electric type at its final stage.
Cool.
So that begs the question of what I do in that case. Because I do know some of the newer Pokemon in this game, and based on watching some videos Unknown showed me, yeah, fourth wall breaking, but you never know, right?
Right.
But it should be a pretty cool idea, what, right?
Right.
Like, I I do know it's fun to have all the starters, because I know you can get the actual original starters in this game. And I don't mean like the starters of the regions, because yes, you can get those, but I mean, Shillong isn't the actual original water type starter you could have gotten.
Oh,
Yeah, because technically Shillong doesn't evolve.
interesting.
Yeah, he has forms he can change into, but it's actually a lot more interesting. Okay, now let's catch this Fantub. But yeah, it is quite interesting, like you said, because it involves a certain item that lets him change form. No, great. Shillong, don't. I will catch you, Fantub. Let's just hope you don't knock this guy out. Go Premier Ball time.
Do you get Premier Balls in this game like you do with the other Pokemon games, which is to say buy 20 potions?
You mean 10 Pokeballs?
It's Pokeballs, sorry.
When you buy 10 Pokeballs, you get a Premier Ball, so yup. But you have to buy
Oh,
10 at a time.
that's usually what I do.
Yeah, it's like the smartest way, isn't it?
Yep.
And now I gotta go heal shit long.
I usually find myself using amateur balls in the mid game.
Hmm? What are amateur balls then?
Oh, they're the blue balls with the red stripes on them.
Ah, the blue balls are. Oh, great balls.
Yeah, that's what I meant, sorry. I've been
Hey,
playing too much PMD.
hey, it ain't that bad. PMD can be a fun game. And plus, you gotta remember, I did invent the PMD balls.
Yeah, that's true.
And let me guess, you're a bit curious about that, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, okay. Take it, for example, using a PMD World badge. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how they can teleport a Pokemon
Yes.
back from a dungeon?
Yes.
Work it on, for example, a multiple scale, dimensional wise, okay? If you
Oh,
do
so
that,
it's kind of like the Bifrost then.
the Bifrost, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
the
remember.
sword from Thor that can transport you across different planes of dimensions.
Actually, I never heard of that, I don't think. If I have, I can't remember exactly. But no, sort of like that, but you basically work. It kind of does work like that in a sense. But in this case, use the PMD ball to return a Pokemon or send them out if they have that type of badge. So,
Interesting.
for example, the certain badge I use is the one for Comics' team. Okay?
Okay.
So anyone on Comics' team is technically my Pokemon. They're their own free will, their own free Pokemon. But, for example, I do own them, but I don't at the same time. They're considered mine in our world, but in their own world, they're their own Pokemon. Meaning they can be caught and they can't be caught. Make sense?
That sounds a lot like Schrodinger's cat.
It kind of is. Because, like, in their own world, they're not caught Pokemon, because how can they use Pokeballs in that world, right?
Right?
But in our world, since they can be caught, I had to make some way for them to be counted as caught mons. Make sense?
Yep.
So I had to have the energy of caught mons around them, since the Pokeball would have to do that. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that is one weird glitch.
Yep.
That word's really a ghost stone. Which would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Yep.
But that's how the PMD balls work. And technically, I only have one for each type. I thought about originally making one for each Pokemon, but that would be over excessive.
Yeah.
I understand trainers have to have a Pokeball for each Pokemon they catch, but if I can just use it for each Pokemon, for each type, I can just call out based on type and let it be randomized.
True.
Or if I specify it at that time, it can come out then. So it's just one of those things that just made sense in my head to do. And it seems like a smart idea, doesn't it?
I think so.
Because it allows multi-dimensional travel. Because, for example, are you curious about how they're shadow Pokemon at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, well, you'd probably know that there's more Pokemon in my world than most other worlds. Like, for example, in the Ore region, Fjord, and all of those regions, there's new Pokemon, right?
Right?
Anyway, you've heard of my unknown telling you about Kokusan, right?
You can go ahead and say it.
Well, Kokusan is one of those Pokemon that is a legendary of the Ore region.
Oh, okay.
And of course it would exist in the PMD world then, right?
Right?
So for example, take that and where if it locks your heart, how can it be fixed?
Right?
So when something locks your heart, how do you fix that? Well, of course you can purify them on, and other legendaries can fix that, but think about it this way. I've tried fixing it permanently, but I've learned Kokusan can only fix it himself permanently. And thing is, even he has his limits.
Yeah, that's true.
And thing is, he doesn't even want to fix it permanently. Just think about it from my point of view. We've already gone on the adventures, we're showing the backstory of them, right?
Right?
So it's just one of those things, it's like, I feel sorry for Kokusan, but I also know that it's not entirely his fault. He has a locked heart. He's this basically biggest shadow Pokemon there can be. Oh, Maz,
Yeah?
how do you feel about Spirit Tunes?
Why do you ask?
Let's take a look at this one.
It looks like a whirlwind on a tree stump.
It's a Xenoverse Spirit Tomb, said to be the original one.
Ah, interesting.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yep.
It's Grass Ghost, if I remember correctly from looking things up.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So if you could have any kind of curry from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which one would it be?
Oh dear lord. A lot of them are tasty. I know Unknown is very picky. I can be picky, but not as picky as him. Ironic, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, oh dear lord, I love all those curries. I would have to say ramen curry, or maybe no festive curry. Those are like my two favorites. But then it also goes into the types of flavors they have. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yep.
Because I love them plain, but then there's all those flavors like sweet. I don't really like bitter or sour when it comes to them. But some types of curries I love bitter and sour, and it's just, oh, I love them.
Yeah. I
It's
would
just
have
the,
to choose. I would have to choose the cheese covered curry.
oh, nice. And we got a grass nut, TM.
Cool.
So this works out great, doesn't it?
Yep.
Let's hope we don't encounter more Mons real quick. Because I gotta heal my team up. Alkid put in the work, didn't he?
Yep.
But Maz,
Yes.
since you're actually gonna be new to my backstory, and that's where my backstory is gonna change, do you want to know a teaser from what I am remembering of it?
Sure.
There's gonna be Tamaros in the Pokemon Center.
Interesting.
So that's gonna be fun for you, isn't it?
Yep.
Because you told Matthew you wanted to do a joke, didn't you? Right?
Mm, I think so.
Okay. Because what was that joke?
I'm trying to remember.
It had to do with your old D&D campaign.
Oh, yes, that's right. I
In
remember now.
in case of our world, it would probably be Dungeons and Dragon Knights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mazes and Mons.
Yep. It goes by many names technically.
Yep.
Oh wait, I gotta swap out Beedrill for someone else to train.
I would also take the sweet apple curry.
Oh, that actually sounds delicious too. Hmm. Trying to decide. You know what? Why not? You would take a while though.
You know why they chose curry to be the camping food?
Oh dear God, so true.
You know why, though.
No, I actually don't.
Apparently, curry is a rather popular camping dish in Japan.
Huh. I would think it would be a popular camping dish in England. Because, from what Unknown tells me, Galar is based on England in his world.
Galar is primarily based in the UK, which
Yeah.
includes 4 nations.
Oh, cool. He may be smart, but he's not the best with that stuff, is he?
And I would really like to eat, what is it called? A Pokepuff.
Oh, those do sound good. I've actually had some. Because you forget, it's easy for me as a Pokemon to have some early on.
Yeah, if I could have a Pokepuff, it would be the mocha cake with sweet icing.
Oh, nice. I bet you're still curious about my family history, aren't you? Based
A little
on
bit.
those pictures?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, you want to hear some of the stories or you want to find out for yourself?
You can give me hints.
Okay, I have a Shadowlugia dad.
Yes.
My father is one of the big bads.
Yes.
And my mom is dead.
Yes.
Well, the rest of my family has passed away or is still alive. And I
Right.
just don't know it. And I don't really know them that well. But I have family all over the regions, so that makes sense, doesn't it?
Right.
Because it's like Unknown is very curious about that Turk. I'm trying to remember what you called it. Squirt twig? Was it?
Squirtwig.
Squirtwig? Turk
Yeah, Squirtwig.
Squirtwig. Yeah, he's actually very curious about where to put it for my backstory at this point. Which I can't blame him. I'm actually curious about how I can use it. Oh great, don't let this one go get past me. And anyway, we have 7 more minutes. Would you like to ask the audience that's going to watch this a question?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Remember, PG.
I know.
I know you know, but it's like it's always smart to remind someone who isn't usually on here.
Okay,
But,
viewers. Which double combination of types do you want to see that hasn't been presented in the games yet? Mine is
oh,
parry and fighting.
that's nice. Okay. And by chance, do you want to appear on here again, Maz?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Maybe you can become a regular guest on my videos for gameplay and art.
That's fine.
Okay. Because I know you're going to be a regular guest for stuff like um, for my backstory now. Anyway, probably gonna stop the recording here and let someone else do another gameplay. So, let's stop right there and hit the stop button.